Keep a fire burning red in a Georgia representing of a comes hard here, you know. Big up Kidaki, Buxton Massive.
First of all, this movement, Buxton, CAMS TV, and the Society for African Guyanese Empowerment invite you to the Business and Cultural Expo this Sunday at Benjamin's Lawn opposite Tipperary Hall, Buxton. Expo starts at 11 a.m. Come out, support your service providers, agro-based businesses, and manufacturers. Yes, the Buxton Business and Cultural Expo. Bring out the entire family for a day of fun and business. Come on, come all. Booths available. Exhibitors call 682-7981 for more information. Business and Cultural Expo. Exhibiting for success. Bring out the family for a day of business, culture, and entertainment this Sunday, August 25, at the CAMS TV Society for African Guyanese Empowerment and 1st of August Movements Business and Cultural Expo at Benjamin's Lawn, the Tipperary Hall, Buxton. Expo starts at 11. Bring out your family. Support services, agro businesses, manufacturing. Yes, booths available. Call 682-7981 for information. Expo starts at 11. Come out, support the businesses, exhibiting for success. You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T and W Harris Butcher Shop located in the East Rheinbelt Market meat section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T and W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
sitting down as what was it? Tom Clark sitting down as and giving Sharma Solomon and others in the Linden Town Council and
so the second piece I want to add, listen, is this business about the
morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, are you morning? Welcome to another program of the Guyanese Morning Time. Morning, neighbor, morning. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. How have you been? How was I yesterday? How was I last night? What's going on for you today? What's your plan? What happened yesterday that make you optimistic today? I was informed of a particular jackass brain yesterday. But it's not every time you just got to follow up jackasses when they brain. A case of pot telling can be bottom black. The ballad tyrant. Hola, doy. Emily Durant, good morning. Emily, I sent you a message 2 days ago. You haven't responded to me. What's going on with you, girl? Yeah? You want to talk with business in public? I'm a private man, I don't like talk everything in public. So respond to me in private quickly. Yeah. The fast bookers, according to them, was wondering, is we talking about? I gotta call them money. Because I'm supposed to get some people on this program this morning, but I ain't see them yet. Good morning, sir. Where are your people? All right, it's only 7:20. Sorry, my bad. I'm just anxious. Good. Good. All right, good. So morning, are you morning? We're going to have the Ghana Public Service Corp Credit Union talking with us this morning. At some point in time. Right, so we're going to be talking about what's happening over the credit union. I noticed the advertising. What they're advertising by? They're advertising that thing. You know what the thing is? If I tell you how to work in magic these days, you won't even believe me. When you see a looking till across the horizon, is it's a video screen I'm trying to share with you. It's kind of difficult right now, so leave it alone. Yes, they're advertising general meeting.
Region 4, the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union will be hosting its annual general meeting for the period 2021 to 2022 on Sunday, the 25th of August, 2024 for members of Region Number 4. The meeting will be convened at the Critchlow Labor College, Wolford Avenue at 10 hours. Members are encouraged to pre-register at bit.ly/GPSCCU AGM 2024 for further instructions on how to take part in the meeting and to vote for a committee of management. The meeting will take place both online and in person at various locations across the country. Full participation of members is encouraged. Let us move your credit union forward. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. People helping people.
Yes, that's what they're advertising. The Co-op Credit Union AGM is coming up on this Sunday for Region 4. Well, it's all the region, but this advertisement is specifically Region 4. Norris King, Norris, if you can hear me, I want you to call me right now because here what, it's Free Talk Friday. And I know you're a man on the ground. You still with the LC in Linden? Or which party are you with in Linden now? I gotta ask, because Guyanese got a way of jumping ship like when and Sparrow said Dean and Dino. Good. Um, Today they with this party, tomorrow they with that party, the next day they with the other party. Boris can call me 6225933. Let's talk about what's happening in Linden. It's Free Talk Friday, and I really want you to talk to me about what's happening in Linden because I see a lot of craziness going on in Linden. Was it you? No, I lie. It was Fredco, right? I don't know if those people on the program know Fredco, but Fredco is a popular man in Linden. Fredco taken me to the office of Gasper, right? Back in the years, and he had introduced me to Gasper as a EFC man. Good. Now I see Gasper is over at the PPP drinking soup and misbehaving, right? Holding back development in Linden. So I want a man like Norris King because Norris King, he like me, his mouth is unbridled. He just tell his story as he sees it, right? I want Norris King to tell me what's going on over in Linden, especially with Gasper. It is a sickening thing. I'll tell you honestly. It is a sickening thing because of the fact that even I have no problem who want to join which political party and who want to support who. But I always say, like I said in Buxton, for me, Buxton, issues concerning Buxton must be upfront and foremost. Let us deal with our community issues first, and then you could talk to me about political allegiance, which political party you belong to and which political party you belong to. I can't understand. Clinton Hollingsworth, you could call me to 6225933. Y'all sit down in this program and y'all talk to me. People want to know what's going on in Linden. All Linden has got so soft. I got one man named Gasper holding up development for the people of Linden. Right? I don't understand it. Like I said it months ago. I don't care which political party you want to join as a BUXTONIAN. I would love you to join the WP. I would love you to support the WP. If not the WP, some coalition party, some opposition party. Definitely not the PPP. But even if you join the PPP or any other opposition party, whatever, just understand that charity begins at home. We have a responsibility as a people to take care of our homes and our communities first. And so that is what we should be concerned about. What is good for our homes and our communities? Let me tell you something. When you all sit down at these round tables to make these decisions based on instructions given by the wicked intent of those in the PPP, they are not the ones suffering in your communities. It is your people who are suffering in your communities. And so I can't understand a man like Gasper sitting down as, what was it? Tom Clark, and giving Sharma Solomon and others in the Linden Town Council and Bureau's office and wherever, a tough time all the time. A matter as simple as garbage removal, which will freshen up the air, as I would like to see, for the citizens of Linden, the residents of Linden. Gasper giving people hell over. Y'all didn't know where Gasper live? Dump garbage in front of Gasper house. The same garbage that is affecting you, do it by day, do it by night. I don't care how you do it. Don't come in front of Gasper house. And y'all might want to believe that I just talk these things loosely. I really and truly believe that sometimes you have to become extreme for people to understand that what they're doing is bull. I ain't got no problem with Gasper as an individual, I would hope. Because when Fredco introduced me to Gasper, at the time, both of us or all three of us were in the business of internet phone calls and so on. And so Gaspar was trying with photography at the time, if I remember, right? Photography and internet calls and so on and so forth. So we had a business relationship. We used to talk based on businesses, right? But politics and community development, it's a burning shame. I'm ashamed of brothers like these when I see they behave in a certain way. I really am ashamed. As people like to say, it always takes one of us, or they always take one of us to say it is one of us. That might be true. But why do we always have to make ourselves available? Why do we always have to make ourselves available to people who we know want to mash our people down into the ground? You mean, you know the harm, you know the dangers that they represent, and you're going to still take their instructions? Huh? Anyhow, it looked like Norris and Hollingsworth, them probably want to talk this morning. When you see some them and Gaspar must be good friend. They must just sit down and knock bottle and table together. You don't want to lose a little pork some Gaspar. Because the usual thing in the communities, when these black brothers drinking soup at the PPP table, they usually just get something, a little droppings to drop around the community to influence others to go and join them at the PPP table. Good morning, Odinga Lobombo. How you do? I hope you are much improved in health. I remember Odinga Lobombo used to call a good morning. You see, sometimes that's why I like me out. Because when you talk, people just react. They just want to protect their integrity. Alice boy said, "You don't mix you up in a nonsense. You're drinking no soup."
even though I was tuned in there, I didn't hear your invitation. I heard when you called Norris. So I was waiting for Norris King to join. Anyway.
So just let finish this thing about Odinga Lubumba, and then we're going to talk about what happening with Odinga in Gaspar. I remember Odinga Lubumba in his heydays, as we like to say. Used to pass through Boxer every now and again and drop a case of beer for them boys. There's a particular shop on the Boxer line top. There's PPP affiliated to. Hey, Lubumba would stop. Well, there were several shops around the community, to be fair. That Lubumba would stop, but when you see the boys in the corners, you go and, hey, I left some money for you to drink some beers in there. Right? A mouth is bridled by the food it eats or the beer it drinks. Right? And so when Lubumba wanted people to do whatever his bidding was, it was easy for him to come into the community and say, hey, let me go to town. Hey, let me go to town. I got things I do. Right? Yeah. That is what they do. They sit at the PPP's table and they plan how to conquer black people through these slave catchers. Gaspar is another slave catcher. It is alleged that Lubumba had said to the PPP, all black people like is loud music, some cook up and beers, and you got them where you want them. It is alleged that another person tell the PPP not so long ago, go to the churches, work with the churches, and you're going to conquer black people. Right? And the talk then was, if I only realized the impact that the church had on black people's lives, we would have gotten into the churches long ago. Right now, they're even in the faithist church, if you call them that. But yes, Hollingsworth, thank you for taking my invitation. Tell us what happened in there with Lyndon and Gaspar, and why you can't deal with Gaspar and let Gaspar get an awakening.
Okay, so Kadaki, you hit the hammer on the nail. Now, this is just what Odinga Lubumba was doing in Buxton. This is what is happening around the country at Linden. Now, in the days, the Green Valley, Victory Valley, okay, was a place where people were afraid to go. The PPP was afraid to even travel into Linden. Ministers and members of the PPP back in the days were afraid, much less to go into the valley, because some of the most brutal men came out of the valley back in the days. Now, some of those same men are now in the PPP's pockets because they use the most senior slave catchers to influence those men. Now, those men are getting contracts from the PPP. So all of a sudden, the focus of looking out for the community and a shift to looking out for self. Now, when it comes to gospel, all right, it is alleged that when gospel was given the assignment as Tongue Jerk, all right, he was also given instruction to frustrate the council and to disagree with everything the council would have put forward, and this was revealed to the council, to the seniors in the council before Gaspar was appointed. This was revealed. This was the information that was given to them by PPP functionaries at Freedom House. So what is happening there at Linden is, it was expected. Linden people attacking to y'all. All right? Don't look at this is my friend or my neighbor. Look at Gaspar as an enemy of the people of Linden, because that is what Gaspar is portraying himself as. Now, I was there in Guyana the other day when Conan and Theodore Adams organized the market for the market folks to clean up that piece of area there where the garbage were being dumped. All right, the people decide, hey, if y'all gonna be the leadership, the force that's gonna clean up this place, then we working with y'all. The market folks come together, they buy paint, they buy the detergent and everything to clean up that market, and Gaspar decided to come and open his big mouth to tell people what is illegal, when the dumping of the garbage there is illegal initially. That is enough to motivate the people of Linden to come out in their numbers. Look, Linden people is just like the BUXTONIAN people. When we come together, we are forced to be reckoned with. And I'm calling on the people of Linden to come together, to come out and stand against Gaspar and demand that the PPP remove the evil from the council. Look, all the statutory meetings that are, and I'm encouraging folks to follow Ms. Vanessa Kisul, who broadcasts statutory meetings from the Mayor and Town Council. Follow the Mayor and Town Council page, follow Sharma Solomon, and you will be able to have a sense of what I just said when I tell y'all that Gaspar was sent to Linden to frustrate the council, to stymie every project that the council has planned here. All right? Simple. Gaspar, it is alleged that Gaspar is telling the garbage men them on the tractor not to go and pick up the garbage from the market area, which the people have a perfect system to that. I don't know if you know about it. The market folks, along with Conan and the rest, the highlighters known as, came up with a system where we're going to put our garbage in bags. We're going to keep it at our business establishment. That's the market area. And at 4:30, we're going to walk the front when the tractor passing and throw our garbage in the back of the tractor so that we don't have a pile up of garbage overnight. Because what was noticed, all right, what the market folks come to realize, that all the business in the surrounding community, even the Chinese stores and the far-off business and some residents, just like Georgetown, are paying these, I don't want to say junkie, but paying these men that are willing to work for odds and ends to go under the cover of darkness and throw all the garbage in front of the market and have the place looking terrible. And Kadaki, let me tell you, the garbage is right at your computer screen, and people are applying their trade just where you're sitting. All right, so the market folks started to get sick from that garbage. Now, tell me in God's name, Linden, after such a great system was put in place, and gas away, I want I-5 on the road and shake your hand and smile with, is trying to knock that system out. Linden is pushing tourism. Now, we've seen tourists coming to Linden, Kentucky. Don't let me take over your show, but we see tourists. People are now planning tours from the city to come and visit Linden. This is a great idea to clean up so that when these tourists come, they're not just coming and see the Blue Lake, see the water wheel in Christianburg, and, cross the river, but they're now coming to spend some money in your market. You have to make your environment welcoming for tourists to come and dwell amongst the people. The money these tourists spend shouldn't just be what they're paying the tour group that is bringing them, but they should be able to come and buy the little knickknacks in the market. But Jasper is there stymieing everything. The people put forward a proposal for a little warden, to hire more people. They put forward proposal to raise the salary because the workers in the town salary are below the minimum wage. The people put forward these proposals and Jasper is blocking them. Till now, it's alleged that people who would have done work for the Tongue Committee can't get paid because Jasper is refusing to sign these documents. Linden, y'all need to come out and get rid of Jasper. And I agree with what Kadaki said. Put the garbage in front of the damn gate. When he wake up, the tractor must come there and make many trips. All right, make many trips trying to remove those garbage in the cover and night yard, put it in front of the yard. Put it in front of the yard, man. The people in the street don't get fed up here and want to chase him out. Kadaki, they will take one of us to say it was one of us. And that is what is happening there at Linden. All right? I don't know if I've given you the information you
Yes, certainly. At least the people are, I would think, more aware now of what is happening over there in Linden. Like you say, the PPP now over the years with our money and so on has been finding out, paying attention to where the strongest source of resistance is in the African Guyanese community, and they get one of us and they send them directly to the source, right?
Of course,
send them directly to the source. I can tell you all a story about African spirituality and Hindu and Muslim spirituality and so on. I remember talking to an elder, a faithist elder on the west side. Thanks to is Norris King uncle, Leonard King. Leonard King introduced me to a lot of people around this country and in this society. The man was a man among the men. And I was introduced to this elder. And one day I went to visit, just passing through the area and stopping to check in. And the elder we were talking and we ended up talking politics. I say, when you have to lose the election, man. Because when the man win the election, they pay homage. I bet you that since Ali win the election, he don't kill 4 bullets at each corner of this guy. Good? Because they know what their spirituality is and they respect it and so on. They dishonor it. Black people just duck and hide from theirs. So somebody sent me some information recently showing me that the PPP is putting up another jumbie board somewhere at another roundabout.
Somewhere over the west side.
And was explaining to me, I don't see me in those way, but I know I get it. I was saying, you see the ball what a jumbie board standing on, or eagle, whatever, is in there the thing there. And the PPP so far has been able to put up these things, I think, north, south, and east now. There's one other area, or one other, what we call it, geographic point, I would call it, that they have to put up another one to lock down Guyana. So the question that came to my mind right away, what happened to all of these faiths? What happened to African spirituality? If we know these things, why we can't deal with these things? I grew up hearing that if people get wickedness some way, throw steel piss on them. go there and piss on them steady, spit on them, throw blood on them, and all them kind of things. So what happened to these faiths? And they said believe the skill and believe the skill. I believe in African spirituality. They said the farmers the plantocracy was afraid of African spirituality, voodoo, whatever they want to call them, and so on and so forth. Well, being a practitioner of these things anymore that can conquer whatever the enemy is trying to do to oppress us. Yeah, talk to me. This is a conversation I want to have this morning. We got about 18 minutes to talk about it. Right? Likewise, when you got folks in your community who operating like the devil and demon themselves, what happened to African spirituality? You know what to do with them? Janet Jackson, they run out of office when black people they there in the streets marching with a coffin. And a daddy dressed up like Janet, and they're singing "We Gonna Walk on." You remember the Marlins one?
Yeah, clearly.
So what happened? Janet Jackson was afraid of African spirituality then. You mean nobody in the PPP right now? Because they buy out all them faiths, and all them faiths tell them what to do. All them faiths take the energies and carry it and give fund the 1st or 2nd of August, whenever they had the dinner at State House. Come on. Y'all gotta let people stop harvesting y'all energies. Go ahead.
I gotta run, but I wanna say something. All right. I wanna say, Kidaki, I'm gonna leave this. I don't wanna put this out here right now, but I want Guyanese to watch at what is happening, right? The PPP has a program there where they're rolling out and they're doing streets left, right, and center across the country. That is an election move. Doreen Adams would have put out some pictures that's the regional chairman of Linden of some streets that these people would have done. Kedaki, I wouldn't do that to my enemies. You hear me? People, when these people come into your community, just don't watch them work and say, well, yeah, they put in streets because we never had streets down these roads. All right? Ensure that what you're getting, your grandchildren can enjoy it. Ensure that I was there at Linden the other day, Kadaki, and now my street has never been done. I've been walking on sand for years. Until now, you're seeing erosion. Over the years, we would have lost about 5 foot of sand. 5 foot of that street would have washed down into the Demawara River. Now they're coming to put concrete strips or concrete streets, so they call it. Now they give 2 contractors this one street to do, which I think is nonsense. Now you see one contractor is doing the job coming down. When you think these people were going to join the cross street so as to accommodate the flow of water coming down the hill to catch onto this other street that they're doing to ensure that the water doesn't undermine that new road that they're doing, these people, Kadaki, I had to talk personally to the contractor. When I brought it to his attention, the contractor said, boss, I think it's 80 foot now. It's 80 foot they give you for doing the engineering plan said bring the street straight in. I said, but if you look, this cross street that is running that you're coming across, the water is gonna come down and undermine yours. By the afternoon when they finish working, it rains, Kadaki. When they come back the next day, all the farm boards and everything that they put down, they have to redo that because just what I told them was going to happen, it happened with the farm board. The water came down and washed away all the sand. Now, don't come into my community and give me road. Linden, I'm talking to you. Guyana, I'm talking to you. Don't let these people just come and give you what they want to give you. You people are like the engineers in these communities. Y'all know what has happened when it rains, where this water does run, where the water does come from. Y'all know if they don't do X, what is going to happen? Come out as a community, we would have seen this happen in other community across Guyana, where the community, the people came up and said, don't do my street if you can't do it correctly. Guyana, we gotta come back together. We gotta start working in the interest. All right. Even if it's not the interest of ourselves, do it for your children and your children. Leave some proper legacy. Because I can tell you this, Kadaki, I could live with my son's streets. You hear me? Because it come back. But it's always, we would always welcome improvement, in our environment. All right. So if they come in and give y'all streets, if they're coming in, whatever they're giving y'all make sure they do it properly. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're doing these things because they have to do it. When you go to these Indian villages on the coast, East Coast, West Coast, you see a proper street from drain to drain. Why are you allowing them to come into the African community and giving you something just to last until the next election is over? Demand the best from these people. You deserve the best. I just tell the Guyanese people, become discontented when it comes to what you're entitled to. When it comes to your government, regardless of which government is in power, become discontented. All right, they come and give you street after where the shoulders for these streets there, where the drains for these streets, where the water go run off and go ask these questions, demand these things. You're entitled to it. We are sitting, excuse my language, but we're sitting on a shitload of money. And I personally believe the PPP don't do anything for Guyana unless there is something in it for them and their ministers. A little blind left in a corner for them, where they get 2-3 million in the office, and when they get catch, they say they hard-earned money. So demand the best from them, because they're still walking around with duffel bag with money sharing out to give people. That is remedy for thieving, because there's no accountability. Thank you, Kadaki, and I'm off to work.
Thank you for joining me, boy. At least you gave us some information there that we needed out of Linden. So, I guess you have a clear understanding of what is happening in Linden. What you don't understand is the photos on the screen, I'm sure. Right? I ain't calling name. I only putting up photos. And y'all see this one came from Melissa Ann Atwell. Melly Mel, as they call her. Look at that house. According to Melly Mel is a well, I was about to say billion. Right? This is supposed to be the property of an ordinary public servant who started working at the First Lady Press Office, I think, since the PPP has been in government 4 years. 4 years. I am betting that this young man inherited wealth, generational wealth, like Ali did. Is another Ali equation, right? Remember, Ali claimed that he had inherited generational wealth when he acquired a Gaisuko property and so on and so forth, where his pool house is bigger than a home that the average Guyanese can build on one little piece of land that the government allocates. I remember that. But I'm sure this young man here has been given the same opportunity. He too inherited generational wealth. You can't blame them. But you could blame yourself as a citizen for sitting back and watch this indecency continue year in, year out. And a lot of us come here and we defend them, and people still go and vote for them. That is what you can blame yourself for. Good? I am praying. Y'all don't know I'm praying. I am praying. Y'all might believe I'm not a praying man because of the stock, but the problem with the Christian church and the problem with faithists, and like I got problem with everybody that I got to do with religion, because I don't think they slave the religion. Right? I not to say religion. Spirituality and religion is two different things. Yes, GT Starboy. It is an apartment complex, and there's several of those apartment complexes around the country. In every scheme you go, in every newly developed scheme that the PPP has, or the PPP announces that they're developing this area as a housing scheme to hand over land to people, you take a walk in and you're going to see the prime spot. The prime spot in those housing schemes. On every prime spot, you're going to find either business. You got all of them in business or apartments. That's what you find on the prime spots. The prime spots are given to their friends and cronies or the front men, even before ordinary citizens. Even before ordinary citizens are allocated land. I understand I got a man named Tasmin. I think there's a name Tasmin, who's Irfanali's front man. I spoke about that guy years ago, maybe since 2020 or 2021, thereabout. And I was talking about him, I think, in relation to the Amazonia Mall. The Amazonia Mall. There's some projects in that area that were stopped, halted, once the coalition went into office. All work ceased in them. Nothing was happening. As they say, the owners and operators were lying low. Right? But as soon as the government changed, as soon as the had regime changed, it became hustle and bustle again. And the name that I had gotten at the time as Ali's front man, because it is believed, it is alleged that a lot of the things there belong to Ali, acquired while he was Minister of Housing. So a lot of the lands, those prime lands and so on, were appropriated or misappropriated, allegedly while he was Minister of Housing. And the name of the gentleman who they say is the front man is Tasmin. I think there's a name I'm remembering. So when you look around this country and you see in every housing scheme, or in every new developing housing area, one of those indecently, I don't know how to describe them, but those buildings that are standing out compared to the ordinary man and woman, high rises and what do they call them? Roof gardens and so on. His friends and cronies of the PPP, they gave them those things, the land there, and that prime spot to put apartment or some other form of business. Y'all understand that? So those things don't surprise me. I mean, the society is now becoming aware of the names associated with some of those. It is alleged that Sitaraga got a big apartment complex in Cummins Lodge. Right? Cummins Lodge, yes. Some might call it Ogle, but in that stretch there, Cummins Lodge, Ogle, that area there, they're contiguous. It is alleged that Sitaraga got a big apartment complex there. So a lot of them in the government, in the PPP, they have been investing in apartment complexes because either they were listening to me or they were thinking like I have always been thinking. Accommodation is the way to go in this oil-producing economy. Y'all can't remember me saying it? I tell y'all, do up all them bottom house, raise them little house, put in the bottom, modernize your house to, your property to whatever extent you can, and prepare them for rental. Because accommodation is the way to go. You have an oil-producing economy. The fastest growing economy, according to them, people are going to be coming to the fastest growing economy. And they must sleep somewhere. They must eat somewhere. They must look for entertainment somewhere. So those are businesses to get involved in. Accommodation, food, and entertainment. Trust me, man. I don't have all the resources to do it in a flash. But I've been doing it for more than half of my life. I've been gradually developing businesses along that line because I recognize the value in that. And I'm not a selfish one. I don't care. I don't say it's all about me. You ask my colleagues at college and university and school and everything, I'm always willing to help somebody along because I don't believe that if you get an A, I can't get an A. I believe all of us can get A's. So all of us can succeed together. And that makes a stronger community if all of us succeed. So I'm saying, I am saying this morning, hey, I ain't hating on nobody for building apartment buildings. I'm encouraging my people to take an example from them, recognize where the money is. But I'm not saying to follow their pattern of acquiring in terms of stealing and defrauding the nation. One dirty build brick by brick by brick. We can get there. And so I said, I am praying. Y'all don't know how I'm praying. I'm praying for this government to change. And I'm praying that the people will replace them. They'll have the gall. They'll have the gumption to dig and dig deep. Dig and dig deep. And if your income doesn't match your assets, and you can't show where you get this capital to construct properties like those off of a public servant income, then they must be confiscated. Confiscated, auctioned off, or used as government property. I am praying, and it would be my biggest disappointment if when this government changes, we don't have people with a heart, the gall, the gumption, the bravado to go after these criminals. White-collar criminals. So take an example from them. Yes, the example is accommodation is a good place to invest. Real estate is a good place to invest. Real estate, you don't lose it. Unless you're stupid bad. Right? You don't lose unless you're stupid bad. Good? Invest in real estate. Develop your properties. The extra room, you get turn it into Airbnb. The downstairs, you get that, that is since I was a boy, brick by brick, block by block. Improve it. Somebody is going to be looking either for low, medium, or high cost accommodation. Invest in you. Invest in your community. Don't be bitching. Encourage your leaders to be bitching though. Encourage them that when this thing change, they must be prepared to dig and dig deep. In the last coalition government, the WPA had proposed to the Granger administration the State Asset Recovery Agency, or what became the State Asset Recovery Agency. The WPA had advised the Granger administration that so much of Guyana's wealth was stolen by the PPP operatives while they were in government, that some efforts at recovery must be made. and that gave birth to the State Asset Recovery Agency, SARA. And while they can't tell you in a public way all of the work that SARA did, I remember informing you because I had done an interview years ago with Retty Meyer, who was, I think, the deputy director of SARA at the time, when the government changed. He had indicated some of the achievements of SARA. I always remember for a fact that SARA made people from Sparnam, Pradoville too, going quietly and pay the market value of the lands that they had stolen and given to themselves at below market price. I hope that in our next government, we're going to be able to either resuscitate or recreate an agency such as SARA, with people who had a gumption to go and look for these white-collar criminals and take back Guyanese people property. The act provided for settlements to happen. In many instances, I don't think it provided for jail. I want to see the act change to jail some people for misappropriating public property. You see the U.S. sanction? When you see the U.S. sanction on the Mohammeds, one of the things it talked about, right, is, I'm trying to remember the exact word, but basically is the coveting of other people's property, let me call it that, right? We, as a government, must go after these people. I'm saying it. I'm saying it on behalf of the WP. I'm not saying it on behalf of the PNC. I'm saying it from where I sit. I am speaking here as Kidaki Amsa. I'm a citizen of this country. We've been observing the corrupt practices of the PPP. And I'm saying that any government after the PPP has a duty, I dare say a sacred duty, to recover for Guyanese what belongs to Guyanese from these kleptocrats. So while we wait for the change of government and we work hard for the change of government, I'm telling you again, don't bitch. Look at what they're doing. Because I usually say where you see a lot of a certain kind of people money there, follow them, but do it the legal way. You'll get there eventually. And if you do it legally, you know that you'll get to keep it, to pass it on to your next generations. But if you only do it illegally, you can't eat your dinner. The lines are open. It is 8:05. 6225933 is the number to call. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. Call and let's talk a thing. Right? And by the way, let me recognize, hey, Chisel Chipper. I see you in the Cash App. You're the only man in the Cash App for this morning. So I hope others take an example from you, just as I'm encouraging them to take an example from the white-collar criminals and build apartment complexes and so on, accommodation. Right, Chisel Chipper, big up yourself, man. Y'all join Chisel Chipper. Remember the Cash App is $KAMSTV. And the Zelle is 860-373-5187. Right? 860-373-5187 in the name of you at Downer. Good? Call and let's talk a thing. The lines are open. Some of you are still sleeping though. Because nobody ain't calling, nobody ain't sending me no. It's what y'all do, somebody. Yeah. What are you doing? Hello. Don't be disrespecting Guyanese like this. Right? Don't be disrespecting your people. I mean, the administration and government bring Guyanese into disrepute with their behavior and stuff. But don't join them and do it, man. This is what a certain person says the medal won by Guyanese. Yeah. At the Olympics, Paris. Call your live. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki, and the listening viewers in Guyana here and around the world. I always said that I would like to see United States at the table, especially in that asset recovery program. And the first thing we must look at is these buildings that these people acquiring and what they put up. Take it back. Make homes so the people that sleeping in the streets, let they occupy these buildings and like a Elton shelter and stuff like that. These people is ridiculous. Another.
Good morning. Morning. You hear me say morning? Like you know get manners. Morning, neighbor, morning. Are you welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time? It is 19 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour, and it is the 19th day of August in the year 2024. Tomorrow I go court. Yeah, tomorrow is a court day. 1st of August movement, Buxton, CAMS TV, and Society for African Guyanese Empowerment invite you to the Business and Cultural Expo this Sunday at Benjamin's Lawn, opposite Tipperary Hall, Buxton. Expo starts at 11 a.m. Come out, support your service providers, agro-based businesses, and manufacturers. Yes, the Buxton Business and Cultural Expo. Bring out the entire family for a day of fun and business. Come one, come all. Booths available. Exhibitors call 682-7981 for more information. The Business and Cultural Expo, exhibiting for success. Yes, man, again. Bring out the family for a day of business, culture, and entertainment this Sunday, August 25, at the CAMS TV, Society for African Guyanese Empowerment, and 1st of August Movement's Business and Cultural Expo at Benjamin's Lawn, the Tipperary Hall, Buxton. Expo starts at 11. Bring out your family. Support services, agro businesses, manufacturing. Yes, booths available. Call 682-7981 for information. Expo starts at 11. Come out, support the businesses, exhibiting for success. Yes, support the businesses exhibiting for success. They will be exhibiting on Sunday, 25th August at Benjamin's Lawn, and that's not difficult to find. Once you know Tipperary Hall, it's just opposite Tipperary Hall. It's a nice open space there. I must say thank you to the Benjamins, Adrian and family, for allowing us to utilize their facility there so that we can encourage, small producers and entrepreneurs and so on, whatever label they give themselves, the small business people in the BUXTONIAN and Guyanese community to come out and, showcase their thing, show off your thing. You have to advertise. If you don't advertise, nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody knows what the quality of what you're doing is. And so this expo is really intended to bring that information to the fore. Usually at a business expo, you have exhibitors and you have, visitors. You have potential clients. And so I want to encourage those who are who have already registered already. I know I have a commitment already from Proper Wine. Proper Wine, you know, Proper Wine Farmer GT Wine, Abigail. Yes, Proper Wine is going to be out there. And so you're going to see what our new products are. I understand Abigail is into a new brand of business also. And so hopefully she's going to be bringing that aspect of her business along with the wine. And so that you will see ideas. You're going to, you know, those of you come, you're going to get ideas of what you can do to deal with the blackout blues in your homes and so on. Big up yourself, Abigail. And then there is boxing swaps. Of course, you know boxing swaps. Boxing swaps definitely is going to be out there. And you know, boxing swaps has been producing what I want to call functional memorabilia, functional souvenirs, right? It's these lighted souvenirs representing historical facts around from around our country and so on. I don't know if she has gone further afield as yet, but yes, boxing swaps is going to be there, and then crisp is going to be there. Listen, crisp is the thing. Crisp is the talk of the tongue for those. For those people who have had it, most persons have come to Club Twilight, or they've come to Club Twilight or Lou's Kitchen here, and they were fortunate to get a sampling of crisp, and hey, they love it. They love it, they love it, they love it. And so those are some of the businesses that are going to be out there tomorrow. Let me also tell you that Rhonda's is going to be out there. Yes, Rhonda's is going to be out there. You have Rhonda's homemade seasoning, R&M hair growth, oil and cream will be out there. Rhonda's homemade pepper. Right, so Rhonda is going to be out there also. So those are just a snippet of some of the businesses that you can expect out there. Braffit's is going to be out there also. I can't tell you all of the businesses that will be out there, but I must tell you that Braffit is a visually impaired gentleman who has been showing that there is ability in disability. Yes, consistently over the years, been doing his thing and has achieved, I'd say a great level of success thus far. So come out and support your small businesses at the Business and Cultural Expo. Exactly, it says Cultural Expo. So there's going to be entertainment also. Entertainment, especially for the children. You're going to have a whole fun village here. 5Ts. 5Ts is going to be out there with their stuff for the kids, bouncy castle and trampoline and slides and so on. So come out there, you can bring out your children. The expo starts at 11. So it's really a family affair. It's not only big people can come and see what being produced, what is for sale and so on. The children can come and have fun, and they can also be inspired. But I see in places like the US and so on, as we like to say, young children are getting involved in businesses. And so by the time they get to the age of adulthood, they are already millionaires, or they are on the path to making millions. Good, we have to inculcate that kind of discipline in our children. These are not the days when children should be seen and not heard anymore. Children should be involved. Children should be guided. Children should be tutored, right? So that they take up the mantle of leadership and they take it up well prepared when the time comes to them to do that. Welcome to the program. It's another Monday. It's 10 minutes, no, it's 7:30 actually, right? It's 7:30. And there are lots of things I want us to talk about. There's some things I want us to talk about, and we will have to talk about, right? You must observe what is happening in your society. And like I say, I'm an equal opportunity beater. And so when I'm beating, if I'm beating left and right is also violating, I will beat right to us. Some people can't stand that. They believe that you must only criticize your opponent, but you must also criticize your loved ones, because tough love is love too. And when you criticize your loved ones, you only are saying to them, I want you to be better. I want you to improve on what you're doing. And so this morning, I want to shout out the Boxing Falls NDC. Chairman Martins here, I think that's his name, Chairman Martins, and Vice Chairman David Jones. Councillors, who are the councillors? Gavin Dick. Is Gavin Dick there? Gavin Dick is Marcia Dorset. Who else is there? You mean to tell me I don't know my councillors? Anyhow, it's not important to know them. It's important to know what they're doing. And I'm sitting here disappointed this morning because I don't think they're doing enough. Certainly not enough to maintain a semblance of order in the Buxtonian community. I'm always concerned about Buxton. But the NDC is responsible for, I think, about 17 communities, Buxton Fowls, from Buxton to Fowls. How many ever those communities are? There are a lot. Good. But the reality is, I am living in the Buxton Friendship neighborhood, and I have to see things which are not right ever so often in the Buxton Friendship neighborhood. And for as long as I live here, at the risk of offending some people, I will talk about the things which I see that are not right. And so those of you who are tuning into the program, I know Councillor Dorset usually tunes in. Morning, Councillor Dorset, if you're tuning in. I want to raise with the councillors and the PHI, the Public Health Inspector, because these are public health matters when it, or public safety matters when you examine them to the bottom. Brush Dam there, I think there was a guy, I can't remember if that is Devo, but as soon as you cross the Brush Dam Bridge on the public road, there used to be a guy that sold feed and so on your right-hand side if you're heading east. Caris and Smiley and so on had a bakery in that yard there. It appears as though that place has been leased or sold to some, it appears to be Chinese perhaps, and like they were doing at Buxton Public Road, Buxton Milwaukee, the trench is now being bridged. The canal is now being bridged. I have no problem with people bridging a canal because you have to have access to your business place and you have to create access to your business place and so on. My concern is, where does the permission come from to do these infrastructure works? And what guidelines are given to the people who are doing these infrastructure works? Because of my observation, I'm no engineer, but I'm also no dunce. I'm a Mongol, right? I'm stupid. So when you look at things and they look abnormal, you have to raise questions about them. Who provides the guidelines for residents in this neighborhood, or all neighborhoods as a matter of fact, to do stuff like bridging a canal? I see a culvert is being created, but the question is, the dimensions of the culvert, is it going to allow for free flow of water? If it doesn't allow for free flow of water, then you're going to have a situation where there is stagnant water. And the mosquito infestation is already a bother for people. It's going to get worse. So I want the Buxton Falls NDC to look into that. On the Friendship Road, Friendship Milwaukee, as we like to say, there are two things which bothered me when I passed there yesterday. And the thing is that they're in close proximity, very close proximity. Don has a mechanic shop on Friendship there. We know about Don's mechanic establishment. At least that is what I think it's called, Don's mechanic shop, whatever. But I use his name because Buxtonians know these names. And the NDC people will know these names. There is a mechanic shop, a workshop, whatever you want to call it, on Friendship. And opposite that workshop, construction is taking place. That construction is taking place, I think, in front of the Adamses. I think they're Adams. Teacher, what was her name? Monica Adams, I think. Bushman's wife, McDonald's. Right. I'm trying to use this general description so people know where I'm talking about. But opposite that workshop, construction is taking place. I think it's a beautiful piece of property going up there. What I don't like is the fact that the road is encumbered with sand. You have sand on the right and sand on the left, and the sand heaps are flowing into the road. And so you have a situation where there is a good mound of sand in the middle of the road. And so motorists who are using that piece of road there will find themselves in problems. Especially if it's in the night, and you know, some of us don't see well at night. The Buxton Falls NDC has a duty. It has a responsibility through its ranger and its overseer, assistant overseer even. They have a responsibility to walk this community and check this community to ensure that people are respecting the bylaws. And so you have that kind of encumbrance happening on the Friendship Middle Walk there. Somebody, anybody from the Buxton Falls NDC, y'all need to look at it and get it rectified. And get it rectified quickly. Right next door to that, and I'm shouting on my friend because I want y'all to know he's my friend. And that's why I said is that I am an equal opportunity beater, and if you do wrong, I'm going to mention it. Big up yourself, Mr. Apollo Boss. I ain't going to call you by your right name. Many people may not know your right name, but Mr. Apollo Boss, I think you are infringing. I think you are in breach of the bylaws. And I'm inviting the Buxton Falls NDC to have a look and set you on the right path. Please and thank you. There's a saying, get them an inch, they take a yard. Get them a yard, they take a mile. I think some of us overdo it. We really and truly overdo it. And in overdoing it, we not only put ourselves in harm's way, but we put others in harm's way. And what I'm seeing, Mr. Apollo Boss, is definitely exposing you and your patrons to harm. I am encouraging the public health inspector, I'm encouraging the NDC and all of them to have a talk with you. Yeah, you're going to say, hey, but Kidaki, you could have called me privately and talk to me. I don't do private talks, I tell y'all already. Just as though y'all like a call out, other people can call y'all out. Y'all get it fixed, please. Thank you. And I encourage you, when y'all see I screwing up, call me out too. Because I know saint, I'm human just like you. I try most of the time to walk a straight and narrow way though. Because I know. They say don't pelt stones when you got glass house. I got glass house, I like pelting stones. I expect stones to be pelted at me. Well, those are some of the things I want to talk about. I want the Buxton Falls NDC to be more vigilant. Councillors live in these areas because as the local government system is set up, you have councillors representing different sections of the communities and different blocks of the neighborhood and so on. And so they live in these areas where these foolish things are happening. Why do I have to go public with it? For them to act. Ms. Booker keeps complaining about that jungle that is a stone's throw away from the NDC's office. It's government property. I don't know if it falls under the purview of the NDC or the RDC or central government, but it is government property. And NDC is local government. So they should have some amount of responsibility or say in the maintenance of that plot of land. We have to get these things right. Otherwise, local government doesn't serve us any. You mean central government is mistreating and ill-treating everybody and misbehaving? We're going to allow it at local government too. I think one of the failings of our local representatives is that they all, we're in government. You're in government, you're in local government. Whatever little resource you have access to a local government, make it make an impact. Use it for something impactful. Why is it only when the government says we got a national day of cleanup? And I'm coming to that. We got a national day of cleanup. Why is it only then I can see the Buxton Falls mini excavator cleaning trench? They were out yesterday or Saturday morning. Some other mornings. I think Saturday morning. Partaking in some kind of national cleanup, as I understand it. And the excavator was out there scraping trench and so on. I'm sure about the quality of work because I didn't check that. I just in passing recognize that. But why do we have to wait for central government to say it's National Cleanup Day before the NDC utilizes its assets or resources to try to improve people's life and livelihood by at least cleaning up the environment? The Buxton Falls NDC has a mini excavator it could dig. And right behind me here, in the side street, as I call it, that leads to the burial ground, we got a dump ground. People dumping all kinds of things. You can't pull your breath. But nobody at the Buxton Falls NDC seems to have the consciousness to say, hey, let's go and dig a hole with this mini excavator, push all the garbage inside and bury it, and put up a no trespassing sign. And I have another recommendation. In this day of information and technology, there are some cheap cameras, affordable, very cheap. Buy some of these cheap cameras, or let the government use its safety solution or whatever they call it. These cameras that they got looking all over, minding your business all over. Get your central government to provide one or two of these cameras to monitor areas that are garbage hotspots. So when you dig the hole and you bury the garbage, put up a no trespassing sign and put a camera to monitor the area. So when you see who dumping, you just call the police and you have them arrested. That for me is modern governance. That for me is thinking outside the box. As councillors and administrators of the Buxton Falls NDC or any NDC as a matter of fact. But no, you got the excavator sit down there, it ain't doing nothing. In this day and age, we got tractors collecting garbage. Do you know how much bacteria and viruses and so on fly through the air when those tractors are moving? Transporting garbage in the fastest growing economy. You mean to tell me when I was a child born, I had garbage compactors. Are we saying that the only people who can afford garbage compactors in this society are private investors? Like the Savons and the, where's the name? Waste disposal services? Why can't the government of Guyana provide garbage compactors for the neighborhood democratic councils instead of got them struggling with tractors and driving through the area and everything stink that they pick up stinking up everywhere they pass, and the nasty filthy water draining out of the old and leaky tractors and so on? We can improve on garbage collection so that we can improve on the lives. In fact, we can extend the lives of our citizens like that. But people have to be prepared to stand up. Councillors have to be prepared to stand up and make representation. At the local level, at the regional level, and at the national level. At the national level, we expect that the parliamentarians will support the cries and the fights and the calls and the demands of the local government officers at the NDCs. But as it appears, let me say it appears because I don't know if it is so. The representatives at the NDC are doing their thing. The representatives at the RDC are doing their things. And the representatives at the National Assembly are doing their things. There seem not to be an integrated strategy. There seems not to be any integrated strategy. And from where I stand, I mean, I ain't no political czar, but like I say, I ain't stupid. From where I stand, those 3 tiers of representatives should be working together. So the NDC can make recommendations to the RDC, which can make recommendations to the parliamentarians. Yeah, you know what I noticed at the level of the NDC? XYZ is happening. I think we should pass a bill. We should go to Parliament to have this addressed. You know what I see happening at the level of the RDC? I think this is a recommendation. Let's take it to the National Assembly. That is how you have effective representation. But from where I'm sitting, it appears as though the NDC is operating independent of the RDC, operating independent of the representatives at the Parliament. We got to fix that. We're in opposition, but we have to behave like a government. At least a government in waiting. Show that you can manage the little that you have so that more will be added on to you. I'm not satisfied that is being done. A lot of you are turning out to be embarrassments. I ain't going to go down the road. Some people might take it personal, but that's a fact. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. It's 12 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour. And it's the 19th day of August 2024. Like I said, tomorrow I return to court on that cybercrime charge. 9 o'clock. The last time I went to court, I think I mentioned to you, I spent a couple hours waiting to see what's happening at the court, only to be told at the magistrates at conference. And I had to go and look, what they call it, the court clerk of court. I had to go and find the clerk of court to get a new date. Whereas I think in this day of information and technology again, information and communication technology, that information should have been communicated with ease, either to my attorney or to me to say, here, we know you have a hearing set for this date, but there will be no hearing on this date. Your new date for appearance is XY. But no, you lowly citizens turn up and sit and wait for hearsay information. Waste your time. Waste of productive time. I hope when I turn up tomorrow, I'm not going to waste my time. Quite frankly, the case could open and close tomorrow for me. Good? Now, I was telling you all about them waiting for this declaration of a national day of cleanup. I sometimes continue to laugh at our policemen and women, or should I say our people in uniform, right? Because they continue to make people take their eyes past them. They continue to make people take their eyes past them. I'm going to share with you all some messages. Done? I'm going to share with you all some messages. Or should I call it some instructions? Here are the instructions passed out by the Guyana Police Force. Cleanup exercise. Please be informed that the National Monthly Cleanup Exercise will be held on August 17, 2024 at 5 hours at the police headquarters. This is for all officers, inspectors, subordinate officers, and other ranks, as well as all regional divisions throughout Guyana. One will say nothing is wrong. At least I will say nothing is wrong if policemen and women are encouraged to clean up their immediate environment, their barracks, and so on. Nothing is wrong. Clean up your station compound. Nothing is wrong. I don't see anything wrong with that. You're dwelling there. I know in the past they used to take prisoners out of the lockup to clean up the station and so on. Nothing is wrong with that. First Barnum used to get the prisoners on Camp Street to clean the city. Right? I think they were paid a cent a day or something back then. I don't know. But nothing is wrong with that. Here we are now. When we bring in real politics into the thing. Because here, ranks must report by 4:45 hours at the Tactical Service Unit for a briefing and check. Personnel must be properly dressed. Nothing is wrong with requesting that people be properly dressed. You're representing the police force. You should be properly dressed for cleanup. Here we have the problem. Personnel must be properly dressed in the men on mission jerseys. And divisions should do the same. Since when men on a mission is police business? Why policemen and women have to dress in men on a mission t-shirts or jerseys, whatever you call them, to clean up their environment? I would think that they should be in police overalls or be in police uniform, or if permitted, be in civilian clothing because it's garbage collection you're doing. But dressed in men on a mission jerseys. Photographs of the exercise must be forwarded through the appropriate medium to force control and the corporate communication unit via their respective personnel in each region. These photographs should also be posted on the Facebook page. Now, let me tell you where they were required to clean. And this is where the problem is. This is what I'm saying. Nothing is wrong with police cleaning the immediate environs. That is a Barracoon station compound and so on. But this is where the cleaning was happening. See, was Marriott Beach, Camp Street, Kitty Roundabout to Sheriff Street, Sheriff Street to Ogle Arch, abandoned land at East Street and New Market Street opposite GPXC. 5, Upper Leopold Street, Sussex and Hill Street and Smythe Street opposite Carmel School, Sussex and Russell Streets and Hunter Street, Saffron Street from High Street to Gas Station, opposite Small Business Bureau, Upper Princess Street between High and Lombard Street and the entire Lombard Street from Princess Street to Starbuck Market, Indian Monument Gardens, Camp Street and the entire Church Street, from Camp Street to Irving Street, Merriman's Mall from Cummins to Irving Street, all the avenues, East Street, Thomas Street, Camp Street, Waterloo, and Carmichael Street, DSL Junction to Houston Junction, Independence Boulevard, Hatfield Street, that is behind St. Stanislaus College, washing of the following areas, Kitty Roundabout, Mandela Roundabout, and DSL Junction and Mandela. Now, since when is police responsibility? For example, the Indian Monument Gardens. Since when is police responsibility to clean the Indian Monument Gardens? Y'all tell me. Y'all talk to me. I want to know. I want to be educated because sometimes I want to consider myself illiterate, ignorant of a lot of these things that people are telling people that they have to do. Well, I give y'all a good laugh because I got police friends, you know. I asked a couple of my police friends. I say, hey, y'all partaking in the cleanup? Not in the same words, but all of them basically said to me, of course, we are robots. Yeah? Of course we are robots. We can only take instructions. And whether or not we like it, we gotta go and clean up. We don't agree with the cleanup that police should be cleaning all of these areas, but we gotta do it. Why? Because if we don't do it, they're going to write us. We're going to get a letter from administration, and the letter will go into our file. And that means that we will have pending matters, because it's a disciplinary letter. We're going to have pending matters, and any letter that is placed in a policeman's file is effective for 3 years. And so for 3 years, we will not be able to get promotion. We may not even be allowed to go on training for 3 years. So it's a bullyism for me. I can't see it as anything else. But along with the bullyism, I'm also seeing the timidity. Because you mean to tell me that all the police, even of a particular rank, can't hold one hand and say, we ain't got no way? Huh? We ain't got no way? We ain't about that life? And if you put a letter in we file, we're going to challenge you because there's not police duties. Now these people are, I don't know, shall I say spineless? Why can't they stand and represent themselves? But the abuse will continue. The abuse will continue. Because we are in a society where everybody is scared of being victimized. Nobody is willing to take a stand against excesses, managerial excesses. Nobody. How are we going to get the changes that we desire? We want somebody else to fight for it. And even those who are fighting for it, we generally don't stand with them and stand beside them to support them in the fight. But we behave in the cloak and dagger ways. You might be praying for their success, but you also might be taking instructions to bring about their demise. Citizens have to stand up. Citizens have to make the changes. Whether you're police or civilian, whether you're military or paramilitary man or civilian, you are a citizen of this country. You gotta stand up. Men on a mission. Policemen dressed in men on a mission clothing to clean up on a national cleanup day, as they call it. I want to know how successful was the cleanup. I want to ask you something. When the policemen and women dressed in men on a mission t-shirts and jerseys and so on and fan out to clean up this area and that area and the other area, does the men on a mission organization report expenditures? Is that another way of siphoning off money from the treasury of this country? Because the work is done, call it services provided. Refreshments and so on have to be financed. Is that financing coming from the police coffers or from the men on a mission coffers? I want to know what is the separation there. Because here will happen. Or what is possible. The police takes a bill for refreshment and so on for that cleanup campaign. But Men on a Mission also reports it as an expense that they covered. Or vice versa. Men on a Mission picks up the bill, but the police reports it as their expense. I want to know. What are the clear lines of accounting for the men on a mission versus the Guyana police force for these cleanup exercises? Because for sure, it appears as though there's some amount of inbreeding there, some amount of intersection. Because police are made to wear men on a mission jerseys to clean up. So who really is men on a mission? Is there really any such organization or membership to such organization as men on a mission? And does a membership warrant the kind of expenditures, budgetary allocations that they've been getting from the coffers of the state? Those are things I want to know. The time is 2 minutes past 8 o'clock. Our lines are opened. 622-5933 is the number to call. Call and let's talk the thing. We're tuned to the Guyanese morning time. I'm your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. For that individual who was calling prematurely, this is the time to call, not when you were calling. Call your life.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, everyone in the Guyanese diaspora. Good morning to all Guyanese. Starting with a man on a mission. Mr. Amsterdam, those things should be challenged. If we're going to talk in the context of saying that we're dealing with systems, if we're going to take the trajectory that they're going to deal with the democratic and the law and order apparatus that's in Guyana, then I say that those things need to be challenged. If we're not going to deal with law, well, then we can go to revolution, we can go to protest. So for those of us who are talking about law and order and systems and elections and governance, then the courts will be the way to go. It's better to do something than to do nothing. If you're going to do something, either do mass protest or do the courts. Now, so I'm going to discuss about the courts for the time being. Those things need to be challenged. And I just don't understand our legal fraternity, what sort of exposure they have. And here's why I say that. In the States, you've got regular people in the street who will, if they got a problem with the courts, or if they got a problem with the police, they'll sue the commissioner of police. They start with him. They start with the police public service union. They start with the attorney general and the DPP. And you say, well, what does all that have to do? Why are you suing all of these people? Because the chain reaction, they're all involved. They're all knowingly facilitating or turning a blind eye. And as a result of that, you have to hold them all consequential and responsible and accountable. So it's not just one person that you hold accountable for these things that you're talking about, Mr. Amsterdam. I'm glad you raised them. Now, the bigger umbrella that I see with regards to the same taking of the court strategy is the Bureau of Standards. For Pauline Chase, who is the president of the Ghana Bar Association, and Nigel Hughes, and Darren Wade, and Roysdale Ford, and all those types. We can research the Bureau of Standards and find that a lot of these things Mr. Amsterdam has been complaining about this morning and on the rebroadcast from Friday has to do with standards. Mr. Amsterdam wondering if he has to go to court tomorrow or if it will be continued indefinitely. Most cases are continued indefinitely. prosecutor's office can't find the files. Those are legal standards. Those are all issues of standards. Things that are happening in the hospitals, things that are happening in the schools, things that are happening with Sarah. All those are standards. They have a standard. And that's why the National Bureau of Standards are there. Police not doing what they're supposed to do, you take the National Bureau of Standards to court. So I'm pretty sure when you start taking the Bureau of Standards to court, and they're going to say, why are you taking them to court? We're taking them to court because of the way in which the Standards Bureau are allowing the police to run amok. Law has standards. The Ministry of Health, Education, Parliament, everybody has standards. The judiciary has standards that it has to adhere to. And it just frustrating to me that we are trying to arrest the system and we aren't even using the proper or the most logical legal procedures to go about doing that. It's like we are letting the people off the hook, nod and a wink, or we just don't know. Do they teach that in law school or what? So it's like we just bluffing, man. We just really bluffing. I hate to use that term. Because I can't understand how counselors are senior counselors and all of this, and they can't do these basic things in law. Now, let me move to another topic very quickly. Last week, Friday, and this morning rebroadcast spoke about repossession. The Sarah Act. You mentioned the word act. That's the operative word. So there's an act that deals with reclaiming state assets and people assets. I have asked several persons on this show, and I've asked several persons around the world. And I would like to ask again the information czar, Mr. Ramson, and Mr. Isaacs of the Parliament. What's the information on the Ancestral Lands Commission and the communal lands, the African Ancestral Lands Commission that President David Arthur Granger did, to Mr. Mark Benchop and the Nancy Story thing? I would hope that Mr. Benchop would encourage Mr. Granger in his Nancy Story sharing episodes to divulge to us the findings, the comprehensive findings of the Ancestral Lands Commission. It's way overdue. Now, we see when you come off the Berbice Bridge there, some people build the arch. That's ancestral land on Cumberland. In Caribbean, there's a place called Eliza Mary, Little Africa. That's ancestral lands. In Union, there's a village there on West Coast Berbice that Darren Wade spoke about that Africans were chased out of. I think it's number 13. Those are African lands. Apart from the regular ones that we know. Mr. Amsterdam, you talked about things that are being constructed in that Cumberland area, a stadium. All those are African Guyanese ancestral lands from the days of coffee, Sand Fort, and places going up the river. Are we going to allow the PPP just to take all of those? So I encourage Mr. Benchop, who's been doing a good job, bringing certain things to the fore. I would encourage him to let President David Arthur Granger give us a clear understanding comprehensively on the Ancestral Lands Commission Act. Not talk about it, Mr. Granger. Respectfully, sir. We would like for you to put it up so we all can see it, sir. It's our right. You did it in our best interest, and we would like to collect on that. All right? So this is an issue because, Mr. Amsterdam, I don't know how we could fight for elections and people are stealing the land from under our feet. What sense it makes to go into parliament? We're fighting for something in parliament, but people are stealing our ancestral lands all around us. And I don't know what's going to be done about it. So people are positioning to campaign for president, Kermit Norton, Nigel Hughes, Dr. Hines. I would hope that all three of these respectable men for our cause will address that issue, because that issue is critical.
Coffee, stop being sexist. What happened to Simone Booms? She has just announced the formation of her political party.
Well, thank you. Selective amnesia, right? Yes. And she could tell us all about the lands in the bush. By the way, Simone Booms is running for... man, I don't know. I can't make heads out of tail of what's going on. I think, you know, why do you brought that up? I'm going to digress first. You know, Kermit Norton, who I support for president, he must got snake bite cut. You know what snake bite cut is? When somebody cuts you and give you a protection from snakes. I mean, he must get bit by snakes every day in that faction that's going on. I mean, every day somebody fresh crawling out the woods. Now, Simone Booms claiming that she waiting on God to tell her what to do. And as God sends a message to her, she gonna start doing. So I heard Simone Booms got this party now called Assembly for Liberty. I think it's Progress. But it's Assembly in there and Liberty and the Progress, I think, is in there. I mean, look, Simone Booms would be good as, you know, she'd be good as a minister, but not president. I mean, we don't, enough of square pegs and round holes.
Caller.
Enough of square pegs and round holes.
Caller.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Be
sir.
careful. Be very careful. I don't know that you've had the opportunity to examine or test Simone Booms as president. So all you know is square peg and round hole. Anyhow, you need to wrap up. You're past the 10 o'clock, 10 minutes mark.
Simone Booms campaigned with David Arthur Grange. I was on the ground. I worked with the David Arthur campaign. I was one going door to door, knocking on the doors with the padded list in my hand. I know all who dead and all who live and all who fought from the grave. That's me. I campaigned for David Arthur Grange's campaign with him and Winston Felix and Buster Williams and Amna Ali. So you ain't talking to somebody who don't know. And Simone Booms is not presidential material.
Thank you, Carl. You need to wrap up.
In my opinion, based upon what I saw.
Thank you for that clarification. That's your opinion.
Yes, but based upon facts, who I worked on the ground with the Avenue Coalition. Okay? Anyway, once again, thank you for accepting the call.
Thank you for your call. Let me say this, and I will repeat it. Everybody is entitled to form a political party. Every citizen has a right to want to be president or minister or representative of the people in parliament. Every person has a right as a citizen to want to aspire. It is the citizens themselves who will determine whether that person realizes their dream or not. When you can't mute your mic, not always in the mood. Yes. So I don't have a problem with Simone Booms forming and announcing the formation of her political party. What I have a problem with, in fact, I don't have a problem with anybody, as a matter of fact, forming and announcing the formation of the political party and contesting the elections. What I'm concerned about is that we will end up, or may very well end up, in a parliament with a lot of individuals claiming to be the people's representatives but can't achieve much on behalf of the people because they're just that, individuals. That's my complaint. Or not complaint, my concern. I will expound on that once I get through this call. Call it live.
Good morning. Sorry about the background noise just now. Anyhow, that hypothetical that you just expressed about the man and the mission and the Guyana police force. I mean that is so correct. The way you expressed it. But there's something I would like to add as well. You have to remember that this malnutrition thing, this used to be, this was a political arm of the PDP that was formed, I think, about a few years ago, according to my research. And so what I'm thinking, could it be that the PDP government is trying to showcase trying to show people that it has the international community and people locally and regionally, that the Guyana police force and the army are on this side because they joined their whatever entity it is, the man and mission. I think we have to think about that as well. And it could be that they try to, for coming elections, they're trying to show the international community and other people that they also have the Guyana police force and the other armed forces on their side. That's my thing. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's a fair observation. But in essence, what actions like those do is undermine the Guyana police force. Because the Guyana police force is now masquerading for a political organization. So the police force is no longer apolitical, right? The police force is no longer apolitical. And police force and other government entities are supposed to be apolitical. Individuals can support whichever political organization they want, but not the organization, as in the Guyana police force. They are not. Good. So let me talk about regional weeks. I'm not sure the police got any union representing them. There's a whole other story. You got Scarambash and McKinn's and Boudram and them. Good. But let me go back to that issue about people forming political party and aspiring for political office. Somebody asked me, what is the benefit in all of these people forming political party and wanting to get into parliament? Let me break it down for you. It comes down to perks and benefits. Yeah, I'm looking forward to me perks and benefits too. So y'all don't say I pretending that they ain't got no perks and benefits. They got perks and benefits. The first benefit of becoming a parliamentarian, as I understand it, is that you get some of your bills paid. Parliamentarians are granted, I think, maybe $100,000 research grant or something like that, they call it. They get traveling allowance if they live out of town. If they live in town or out of town, they get living assistance, whatever that is. Winston Jordan might be able to give us a long list of living assistance that they might get. Maybe water rates paid, electricity bills paid, telephone bills paid. If I live in an economy that is as tough as this, experiencing a hard guava season, I would love to be in parliament because I don't have to even think about certain expenses when the month done. It comes from the state's coffers. So those are some benefits. Added to that, I can afford, if I can raise the money, to buy the latest vehicle, brand new, because I get duty-free concession. And so who knows, maybe it's my opportunity to drive a Range Rover or a Beamer or a Hummer. What are the other high-end vehicles that people go for? Even a Ferrari, perhaps, because I will get duty-free concession. I don't know if there's a limit on the amount that the duty-free concession grants me, but whatever it is, I will get duty-free concession. So I'll be able to buy, unlike the regular Guyanese citizens a new vehicle. I don't have to go and get a 40-year-old vehicle. They're going to start stressing me out in 3 months. Right? So those are some of the benefits of getting into parliament, some of the benefits of wanting to get into parliament. Y'all understand me? So yes, there is incentive to want to get into parliament. So the question is, does everybody who aspire to get into parliament to represent the people? The good question, Senator Aluwalo, Lord God will enter into the kingdom. Is what I say. I'm saying that everybody who are the people, I want to represent the people, are necessarily thinking about seriously representing the people. Because in many instances, I see their actions as being inimical to effectively representing the people. I'm asking the question again, or I'm repeating my fear. 10, let's say 10, for ease of calculation's sake, 10 individuals who are currently opposition members decide that they're going to form their own political parties. Each managed to get a seat or two to go into the National Assembly. What does it achieve? I'm asking the question, what does it achieve? Because here let me explain this to you. The laws of this country says whichever political party gets the largest block of votes, okay? Whichever political party gets the largest block of votes will form the government. They get the presidency. So 10 people form political parties and they are all able to get a seat or two into the National Assembly. And the PPP gets a bigger block of votes. The PPP still forms the government and gets the presidency. Have we achieved the goal set to remove the PPP from office? No, we haven't. We have not done that. Can we control what the PPP does while in government? Possibility, especially if we have the majority in the parliament. But historically, when the PPP found itself as a minority government, that is, it controlled the government and presidency, and the majority in parliament was on the opposition side, what did they do? They prorogued parliament. That was the Donald Ramatar government. They prorogued parliament. They said, we ain't governing with no minority government. We ain't gonna allow the parliament to run we show. We rather go to early elections. And early elections they went to. Are you expecting anything different in the near future? I'm not expecting anything different. And that is why I become concerned when every Tom, Dick, Harry, John, Jane, Patsy, Jennifer, and everybody else feels that the answer is forming not a political party. I think the answer is putting our egos aside, calling the other person and say, here, we have a common goal, and that is to get rid of the PPP. Let us work together. We might have our difference of opinions as to how we do it. Well, unless we sit around the table and craft an approach, we will not be able to do it together. That's my encouragement. I sit here every day from the time I started this program and I say I believe in coalition politics for the simple sake of removing the PPP from government. After that, we can chart our different courses. The lines remain open. I have, Winston Jordan did give us a comment here. Let me read it so that I can educate myself and others. Ordinary parliamentarians do not get many benefits. The biggest is completely duty-free concession on a motor vehicle. Other than that, they get a monthly salary of over $300,000, a small committee allowance if they are members of parliamentary committees, and vacation allowance. Good. Might not see much in the eyes of Winston Jordan. I see a lot there. $300,000 a month salary. I bet you. Ah! Yeah, forgive me. This morning I'm suffering from ticklish. I'm tickling myself. I bet you many of our parliamentarians can't, on their own volition, their own strength, land a job that will pay them $300,000 a month. I bet you that. So even being able to get $300,000 a month as a salary or stipend or whatever you call it is an achievement. It's an incentive for wanting to get into parliament. And I'm not throwing stones at anybody. I'm just being real in my analysis. People gonna be upset. People gonna be upset, but a time gonna come when I might get into parliament too, and people can analyze it just like that. Who the one kid he could earn $300,000 a month on his own. He's sitting pretty in parliament, right? $300,000 a month as a stipend. What do our public servants make compared to that? So it's incentive enough. And then you get, according to Mr. Jordan, the biggest is complete duty-free concession on a motor vehicle. Mr. Jordan is calling. Let me take his call. Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I couldn't wait until Thursday because I'm not sure I will be on Thursday. Remember I told you I was going to privately text you on it.
Yes, sir.
But I'm so 100% exactly what you were speaking about just short while ago. But let me deal with the parliamentarians one first. Yeah, ordinary parliamentarians, ordinary meaning that they're not ministers. As I said, don't get much. In fact, they complain bitterly that what they get is little, and especially those who don't have a forced job. Because the forced job might be a teacher, and then the second job is a parliamentarian, right? For those who just depend on the parliamentary salary, monthly salary, I think they are quite upset, because that is what they look for sustenance. But the big thing for parliamentarians is the duty-free concession. It's completely duty-free, as opposed to say the remigrant, where the remigrant has to pay a certain percentage of excise tax, and the rest of the taxes are free. But in the case of parliamentarians, it's completely duty-free. So you can bring in a Range Rover that costs $500,000 US, and you will pay no taxes. Okay? So I think that is you're right, that is the major incentive. And if it's if it's less than 4 years, then they could get another duty-free in the 5-year life of a parliament. You understand? So if you go into parliament immediately and you apply for your duty-free concession, 3 years afterward you could apply for a second duty-free concession. Right? But if it's a new vehicle, then 5 years. So if it's a new vehicle, then you're likely to only get one duty-free concession in a 5-year cycle. But other than that, I think they get about $25,000 if they are on a committee, right? $25,000 a month if they are on a committee, whether it's one of those committees that they have, the Natural Resource Committee or whatever, and so on. Obviously, they get a vacation allowance and they get a monthly salary. It should be somewhere around about 300,000 or 300 something thousand.
So, Mr. Jordan, I don't know if you heard me say this, but I was saying that even that $300 and something thousand is incentive enough to want to go to parliament, because the average employee is making $300,000 a month.
That's right. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you, and especially since parliament doesn't meet often.
Exactly.
Right? And especially since in many cases the parliamentarians themselves are not held accountable. A public servant may have to do an annual review before they get a promotion or before they get a salary increase, right? A parliamentarian doesn't have that. They're not accountable to parliament in that sense. They're accountable to the party leader. You understand? And if they're not seen in the district or wherever they represent and so on, it is up to the party. It's up to the party to determine whether they should go or not. And in a very peculiar case that you have with the opposition, where the leader of the opposition is not the head of the list, then he doesn't control whatever the parliamentarians do. He could shout and bark, but he will not be able to get him out of parliament. because he's not the leader of the list, right? And that anomaly should have been cured a long time ago. But so be it. You understand? And of course, the other one now with everybody forming a party and so on. You know, on a previous program, I gave you a simple mathematical formula. Nobody touched it because they didn't understand it. But I'll give it again in the form of a question. How do you divide a minority to achieve a majority? Okay? Explaining, I will explain it. The votes, the opposition is a minority. However you count it, twist it, or they are minority. You need a majority to get the presidency. Even if it's a plural majority. You can have less than 51, but you have the largest minority. If your party have the largest minority, then you become the president. You get the president. So how do you already got the minority? And you cutting it up and fine-tune it and so on in the hope that you will achieve a 50.1% majority. And this is the kind of story that I cannot believe. And you find most of this, you know, I don't want to use any adjectives. You find most among those who are already in the opposition. And they got large egos and they feel that they're popular and they can get 51%. But nobody is showing you yet how they can go into their non-ethnic constituencies and bring credible and large number of voters over to the other side. Nobody is saying that. They're all in their little enclaves, right? And they're likely to get 500 votes and 1,000 votes and so on, which they are actually flaking off from the very minority opposition. And I want to take up the program, but I will say this. You look and see those who left one of the two large parties and went on to form their own parties or to associate with some other formation. And tell me what has been their political success. Tell me what has been their political success. It's there. Do the analysis. It's right there. Elder Green, who's elder today, you know, a number of others who left the PNC and went on to form their own parties. Where are they today and what has been their success? On the PVP side, a number of those who left form parties or went on to what has been their success and so forth. You know, I mean, go to the 2015 election and see, notwithstanding the fact that the other one seat majority, see where the votes came from and see whether those who came actually brought all these votes that they're talking about and so on. But it's for the political analysts and so on to make. You understand? Yes, Miss Lady might be popular and so on. Is she popular enough to become president, or you just want to test your popularity, or what? Are you testing your popularity and consistency that actually you end up flaking off from some other place? You know,
I like to say a lot of them will get a Mark Benchop experience.
and it's Sian Sharma. What about Sian Sharma?
Exactly. Right?
Sian Sharma was the most popular opposition person, without a doubt, hands down. And he never won a seat, not even a left back seat, based on the GCOM results. Never won. I mean, he was always astonished that he never won. But he never won based on the left back seats. You know, so, you know, you're right. I mean, the hope, you despair when you see and you hear these things. People believe in that because they might be popular within a certain community, that popularity extends nationally and so on. But like they said, you know, we learned the hard way. But anyway, thanks for entertaining me, man.
Thank you for your call. It's 25 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. Let's play some voice notes. We got a couple of voice notes. Let me see if I can get them out of the way. Like I said, I expect I might have to leave this program on the 9 o'clock hour.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and listeners.
Please, I said let me play some voice notes, please. Thank you.
from the inception, the mission of Men on a Mission, in quotation, was questioned. I believe MP Ganesh Maipal was one of the first persons who wanted to know what exactly was the mission of that organization. I agree with you when you said that it is customary, and it was customary, because being a part of the paramilitary, I would have done that. Clean your surroundings, right? But I don't understand why our servicemen and women have to clean the city. The local government minister and staff should be delegating the duties to the city council, because it's the city council that is responsible for all things in the city. But because they are control freaks, because they want to spite Georgetown, because they don't get the support of Georgetown politically, they will try to use our servicemen and women to clean our city. Now, the government of Guyana owes monies to the city council. Why don't they do something also about the delinquent businessmen that utilize the services of the city? All the talking and attacking city council. Let's talk about those delinquent businessmen that owe the city council, that nothing is being done. That's where we need to start. The city council is supposed to be an independent body, as far as I understand. They're supposed to be an independent body, and they're supposed to be responsible for the cleanliness of the city. Now, when you spoke about the places that our servicemen and women had to go and clean, what about the 1763 monument? What about that memoriam in the area of the cathedral, St. George's Cathedral, the non-aligned movement? Recently, there was an image of a street person in there having a bath. Wait, you mean that the minister and whoever was in charge of the cleanup campaign didn't see that? Then when you highlight these things, people say you're racist. But the optics reflect how racist the present government is. You mean none of them in see that a street person was desecrating that area? You mean none of them don't pass by the 1763 monument? And if we're talking about the seawalls, only one side of the seawalls was done properly. I distinctly remember highlighting the fact that the other side was not done. And then you had the big hoo-ha about the vendors. But could somebody tell me what has been done to beautify that area since then? The first lady, since she want work to do, should check and see what's going on with the other side. Thank you, and very good morning to you.
Thank you for raising that same matter about the seawall. I guess we'll have to dedicate a program to deal with that, because just the other day I had some visitors and I took them across to see what's happening on the seawall. And you could see the difference between chalk and cheese. And we'll talk about that. Who says maybe tomorrow? Voice note.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and viewers. I am disappointed in Miss Simona Brooms. I love her. She's a strong woman. She can work. But those are the same people that is confusing our Guyanese people. Because at one time she would say that she would never leave PNC. She's a strong PNC and she was there from since she was a little girl and all these things. And then suddenly you want to form your own party. You understand? For me, my opinion, a lot of people that is fighting to form their own party and fighting to be at the top. It's not about the people, not about us poor people. It's just a sham and a drama because you want to go at the top. You can't stay at the bottom and help, but everybody want to get to the top, to the big money, to the oil money, and leave us at the bottom. Everybody want to go up there because if you was for the people, you're going to stay with us and help to guide those at the top to make sure we at the bottom get. But no, all these people want to go up at the top to get their hands on the money. To do what? And to give who? Yes, we have to work. Yeah, all of us have to work. Nothing gonna fall in our laps. But most of the people that are fighting, they're not fighting for us. Look right there, Ford. You won't see me in the media anymore because he didn't get through. I'm done with it. You won't see me on the ground. You won't see me nowhere. You won't see me for sec on the media. All me to on Facebook. You're seeing right there, Ford, right there, Ford. And this for tell you, it is not about us because if it was about the people, they would have still stand there fighting for us. Even self that you didn't get the position that you want. That's my take this morning.
Thank you for that voice note. It's now 17 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. We got one other voice note I'd like to play. And then I'll perhaps see if I can take a call or two. This voice note here.
It's about time that we... Good morning, Mr. Kadaki. It's about time that we bring Simona Brooms to the front of the table. Don't forget that Charndas said the reason for him to vote against the AFC was Simona Brooms saying she don't have time with anything but our people. She is very arrogant. She went to wherever she went with the policeman or the security, and there was a problem. These are the people that bring the AFC to the ground, and that is why Mr. Granger did not put her back as a minister in Parliament. And with that, she all around the place. She had the AFC, now she wants to form a party, and I'm urging Guyanese not to ever elect that woman as president or nothing for Guyana. Thank you.
Let me tell you all this. A lot of y'all might not know. My colleagues over at the Department of... Let me put on the camera why y'all see. As I like to tell y'all, when you look into my eyes, you'll see my soul. You'll know how pure I am. Call over the line. My former colleagues over at DPI, Department of Public Information, will tell you. I always say to them, and I will continue to say it, during the coalition in government, the Granger government, Simona Brooms was one of the shining stars to me. She always got out there and she always met the people. She displayed servant leadership. She was always out there with the people. I don't care who says I see somebody talking about she can't speak properly. Hey, she's 100 times better than Ali. I don't care who says she's brash. I don't care who says she's brazen. I will give her that. She has always been out there for the people with the people in the coalition government. If they had channeled her energy properly, I think she would have brought a lot of benefits to the coalition. That is history. That is history. So when I talk about Simona Boone's forming a political party and so on, I don't think I hate it on Simona. I think Simona has her strong suit. I think she has her strengths. I also think she has her weaknesses. But I am also saying that I do not think forming all of these individual political parties is the answer to the problems we have. And I'm talking as a people. That's not the answer. The answer is putting our egos aside, coming to a table, sit around a table. If we got to bash one another in the head, do that. But at the end of the day, we must come out of there with one goal. And that goal is to get the PPP out of office. We can't do it divided. I maintain that. Call it life.
Surprised me for another party come out today. They have a right, they could do their thing. But let me remind black people today in Guyana, the biggest problem with we in Guyana, black people have to be punished, and now the Kodi people them turn to children now is because of we. Because of we own black people. Because we don't love these words, love, unity, and support. My grandmother test my brains as a little boy. Are you still there?
Yes.
My grandmother said, my grandson, I got 2 bars with a club. One black and one white. Which one me have to cover? Father Garden Trouble said, oh, Nana. The black, he said, no, my grandson. You don't have to cover the black. Because no one will escape. Because as far as one to the top, that's going to put it them all night, all day. But the white one, you have to cover, because if you don't, everyone will get out. And if the second to last one will look back and see it, if the last one need help and put it on, and when I leave, all of them gone and live with love, unity, and support. Black people was able to get out of the barrel, but they don't want to live with that love, unity, and support. Mr. Jordan opened all kinds of worms. He said, look at all them party who leave. The Guyanese black people benefit from them. No, they got to come back and still join with PNC. Them leave WPA and leave PNC and run to who? AFC. Let me say this to my black brothers and sisters, because I feel in y'all pain. Don't mind me living in America, but we're still feeling my black people feeling Guyana. Did you guys recognize when Nagamutu and when the time leave PPP party, did they go and farm another Kodi party to challenge PPP? No, my black brother. Put that to consideration. Put that in front of your table today and study. Said, wait, Flash Garden said something right. Did their 2 Kodi brothers farm a Kodi party for something? No. They go and join Black Man Party and bring Black Man Party down and get Black Man confused today. No other Kodi party, because the Kodi them determined for benefit from that word upon that. Why we cannot be benefit from this word love, unity, and support? This is our problem. Them little party 2020, did any black man benefit from them? No, all of them because Javier sponsor them. Simone Booms, I got great respect for Simone Booms, yes. She went to the White House because she achieved what she did. But God, Simone Booms, you're hurting black people's children. You will hurt black people's children, because when 20, you get 10,000, 20,000 voters, and you can't be the Kodi man and drag your love. That's just why you believe Ramtatan and Nagamutu never go in front of Clare Singh. and demand anything of that money. Because person say, wait, you guys coming to me? When I tell you white woman don't swearing, are you two was in the room? When the time was next to that white woman swearing for president, when they show the court order behind your back. Umo was there, flash gun. Talk to me this morning. You know Umo? Joe saying, the head of the army, and he never represent black people, children. He never represent the constitution. He allowed that woman to swear him. And today, that boy working, that man working for PPP, and his son. Umo was there.
Caller, you can't talk all the story now. It's 9 minutes to 9. I need to go at 9.
Right, give me 2 more minutes. Amitan Green was there. But Amitan Green was mad with Desmond Prasad because of what Desmond Prasad did. He said, look, by call-up election, because black people not get for vote in Charleston. The names scattered all over. That's why him move off from your party. But you know what? He go and read the Bible, what Flash Garden read King James, and he read the story of Prodigal Son. He had to return back home, where he born and grew up, PNC party. Thank you very much for your time, and leave the rest for tomorrow.
Thank you very much for your call.
Karaki, blessings and good morning to you and your listeners. Yesterday,
I'm sorry, I won't be able to take any more calls. I'm wrapping up.
Karaki, good morning to you and your listeners. Yesterday, I was looking at the coffee symposium that was held with Dr. Henry Jeffrey and the Hines and these other prominent leaders. Karaki, listening that program yesterday, it was nice, it was spicy, it was entertaining, it was informing, it was good, I enjoyed it. But from what I heard yesterday, things are not good amongst the coalition. Things are not rosy. I love Mr. Norton. I love Mr. Norton. But for some reason, I'm getting a vibe like Mr. Norton is a coward. Something about him, like he's scared or something. But these Hindu PPP, they believe that they brought Guyana when they came here as indentured laborers. Mr. Norton had to wake up. Or if he don't want to be radical, I think it's better he turn to a pastor and give a man like Dr. Hines or Nigel Hughes is a cool guy, but then when you watch Nigel, there are times when Nigel, he does be spicy, man. You're not getting that from Mr. Norton. So he had to wake up and smell the morning coffee because the people want to hit the road, but he don't want to hit the road. Come on.
They said the noise in the market is not a sale, so I will leave that there. The noise in the market is not the sale. Some people might look scared and some people might look brave, but when it comes to action, it might be a different thing. I don't know. Yeah, I got worked out. But I want to respond to Bilal. I think it's Bilal. Bilal, I like your thinking process. Bilal, so y'all examining and y'all analyzing politics, but y'all missing it. It's likely that Simona is going to go and join the coalition. If you form a political party, I'm saying this now. If you form a political party and you join the coalition, you're guaranteed a seat in Parliament if the coalition gets seats. You all think on that. Talk to you all tomorrow morning. Have a good one. I love Ayo. I love Ayo. I really, really love Ayo. Y'all might know how much I love Ayo, but I love Ayo.
You can get me.
Comes up.
1st of August Movement Buxton, CAMS TV, and Society for African Guyanese Empowerment invite you to the Business and Cultural Expo this Sunday at Benjamin's Lawn, opposite Tipperary Hall, Buxton. Expo starts at 11 a.m. Come out, support your service providers, agro-based businesses, and manufacturers. Yes, the Buxton Business and Cultural Expo. Bring out the entire family for a day of fun and business. Come one, come all. Booths available. Exhibitors call 682-7981 for more information. The Business and Cultural Expo, exhibiting for success.